Boom. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Another Tuesday night chat with the Muskrat and my Cajun brother over here, Creole Catfish. What's up, brother?
Oh, nothing. Just sliding in sideways from work. A little chilly, a little windy today. You won't hear me say this often, but I think I'd have rather be at work than on the river today. It would have been bad. It'd have been real bad.
Yeah, we've got some pretty nasty stuff going through. I think everybody across the whole country is dealing with some bad weather, whether it be dangerous storms, snow, sleet, rain, hail, wind. We got a lot of wind and rain today. It rained all day. Our river's going to take a pounding come this weekend. It's already projected going up 20 feet from today by Saturday.
Oh, wow.
20.
And it's going to go right back down again.
It's hard to tell. You never can tell. But before we get going, running my gums too far, let's back things up a little bit. I don't know what's going on with Brian B today, but he'd been here since noon.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got a mess of candy wrappers sitting around him, popcorn on his belly button. He's been hanging out since noon waiting for this thing to get started. So
I like it.
I like it. Dave Garcher was in here early. Sampy was in the house early. Mullet Man 7 says, great fishing the other day. I appreciate that, man. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. We had a really good weekend, had a good time, and got to share it live with you guys. So that was a great treat. Uptown Chrissy Brown's in the house, channel member. Thank you for your support and love always. 922 Crappie Barbecue. Greg Burgess is in the house. Buckman 22, along with John over at River Cats Tackle. What's up, buddy? Hibbly Hondo's in the house. Catfish. I skipped myself. Pontoon Jody Catfishing. There we go. Minnow Dunkers. What's up, Tommy Long? JR Fishing's in the house. Man, you've been on our mind. Your name's been rolling around this household, and then come to find out, me and Jeremy has been thinking a lot about you guys here. And it's time for your reunion. We need you to come back on the show.
I literally just got off the phone with him like 15 minutes ago. Yeah, I was on the phone with him trying to figure my computer out. So yeah,
there we go. Mike Greenwell's in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Harold Bolton's in the house. Another channel member. There we go. Brian B. Got the tongues rolling there. He's member for 8 months, man. Appreciate your support. Thank
awesome.
You guys. Benoit Fishing Adventures also in the house. Thanks for stopping in. Crappie Day Fish On. Somebody tuning in for Facebook. I don't know if I got my Facebook up and running to where I can get that. I'll pull it up here in just a second. We got Kelly over the Bullock Experience who provided us with tonight's spotlight and a good one, another good one for tonight. Southwind Fishing's in the house. What's going on? Paul Edmiston. What's up, buddy? We got another channel member in the house. Richard over at Fishing and Freedom. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for stopping in. River Warrior brother Zach Murray. We had a really good time this weekend fighting the crazy weather but when you're catching fish, you can stay warm. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Looks like our Facebook user was Corey Jeffers. Thanks, Corey, for stopping in. I know
what's up, Corey?
He shared us out a little bit and gave us some props. So appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Awesome. Appreciate
Uncle
that.
Jeep's in the house. What's up, buddy? Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. What's going on? I know I'm pretty far back in the show here, but sliding in sideways.
Yeah.
Stonefly 71. Right. Stonefly 71's in the house. What's up, buddy? John Boy's Catfishing. We got James Fox, Bink, for most of us, Bink Fox. Their tournament's not until May 18th. And I believe we're like 20 some boats away from capping that off. 85 boats. So I think we're already at 60 out of 85 boats for this tournament, and it's January. So if you haven't signed up for the Vinton County Cancer Research, man, I don't know, I didn't get that all right, but get with Bank and them and get your spot because once they're full, they're full. 85 spots is all we got. 86, we ain't got it. So get a hold of them. Nubby's in the house. What's going on? Jerry Parker, what's up, buddy? Greg Burgess. I think I said that already. Starting to repeat. Hey, there's our other River Warrior. Zach Murray's in the house. What's up, buddy? Jim Butts, what's going on? Buckeye Catfishing. All right. I think I've gotten. All right. Jump in there if you.
I thought I was to the bottom, but the second I started scrolling, it jumped again. I know I see my buddy Richard Cluck fishing Freedom. See Quiet Man Curtis, David McCoy.
Stand
Let's
three.
see. I know I saw Mr. John River Cats tackle himself. I know I saw him in there. I see everybody else saying hi to him. Stand 3. What's going on, brother? Good to have you in here.
Danny Stone's in the house. What's up, Daddy?
What's up, Danny?
He's tuning in on both channels. He's got double duty going on.
I like it.
There we are. River Catfishing. I believe that's Corey right there.
That's him. Yep, that's Corey. I missed that last time, but I ain't gonna miss it again.
There you go. Downtown Ernie Brown is also in the house. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate you both. Fishing for Whiskers, what's going on? Jeff Beal's in the house. We got to 72 people already. I can't even get the hellos underway.
We ain't even started talking yet.
Fat Boy Eric's in the house. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Corey, I know you got a show scheduled with Catfish Weekly, I believe next week, next Monday. But let's give it just a few weeks break after you're on the show there. And if you want to come on the show here and talk about this event, you're more than welcome to. And I'll message you off to the side. But
I'm sure we can find some other things to talk about too. You know, a certain fish that got caught in a certain place that happens to be in my damn backyard.
Yeah. And a boy from Ohio River come down and got it. Shush. I can kick you off your own channel. Shush. Bink confirms 23 spots left on that tournament. So
there you go. They go fast. They go really fast.
Snooze, you lose. I believe we are boat number 16. So we got in.
Cool.
And that was only an hour after they launched it. They opened it up, and we was only an hour after they launched it. We was boat 16. So
that's awesome.
Everybody's been chomping at the bit.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm trying to get down here. Quiet Man Curtis is in the house. Wabash Nate, Butterflies and Sunshine. What's going on? Aaron, the Catfish Regulators. What's happening? Gee whiz. Eddie Gross is in the house. Man, if I missed anybody. Pat with Twisted Tackle Fishing. What's going on, brother? Woo-wee. Man, if I missed anybody, it was not intentional. Feel free to throw another hello down there, and we'll try to catch you on the second go around. But appreciate everybody stopping in. 71 folks in. We're 7 minutes into the show. So,
wow, it is crazy when we got such a big crowd early on in the show. We appreciate it so much, guys.
There we go, Tommy Long, big supporter and friends of the Bink family right there. Boat 60, Team Long. Awesome. There you go.
River right, 30 in the house. What's happening?
What's going on? Thank you for stopping in. So it's pretty easy. This week's topic, we wanted to talk about, fronts, right? Cold fronts in particular seem to be the arch nemesis for many folks. And then fishing in inclement weather, for some folks, I know we got a lot of comments and stuff, especially during the live stream we put on the other day. It was like, there ain't no way I would be out there fishing what you guys were fishing in. But I got to explain something to you, at least as far as Zach and I are concerned. For us, the greater the challenge. So when we see the rivers just totally out of whack, or we see the conditions are just less than favorable, and we decide, hey, let's go for it. And when it works, the reward is so much greater.
Appreciate it, brother.
To give up. Yeah. Shoot, man, I gave it away, right? The whole live stream, go back and check it out. It's, a lot of people don't fish like we fish, how we fish, and as close as we fish to the dam. Like I said, a lot of people ask questions about why we're not allowed to get as close to our dam as a lot of other areas are. I know some areas, like Jeremy said, down his area, they used to be able to get right up on it. Yep. Somebody did something silly. They put restrictions on it, and we have restricted zones.
Yeah, 300 feet now. That's what we're limited to.
But yeah, the weather was not favorable. It was not fun as far as sitting out in the cold. Like Saturday, we sat in 3 hours of pouring rain. We had to catch bait in the rain. We had to go scout in the rain. We had to go find fish in the rain. And then finally we got set up and started catching a couple fish. There he is. Chad Fields, what's going on? River Chronicles in the house. What's up, Charlie? Thanks for stopping in, brother.
If I can get there you go, right there.
mine's at my house. I'm not at my house. I keep forgetting to grab it so I can stick it on my hat. I do have a new hat though. We got Slunger Cat Outdoors.
Oh, representing.
We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. I don't want to
talk about that.
We'll talk about it. So anyway, the weather conditions across the entire country right now, just hitting everybody in one way, shape, or form or another. Halo catfish catcher. I mean, Corey. Oh boy. Hey, Chad doesn't mind throwing shots. He don't care how big they are. They fall the same. Let me see. I seen. Was that Kevin Monster Cat Catfishing? Yeah, Kevin Walters. What's going on, brother? Thanks for stopping in. So for us personally, it's a bigger challenge when the weather's crappy, when the conditions, the barometer, and all that stuff changes. And we like to just go for it. And that's how we got the nickname River Warriors. Because we don't care. We'll go out there and fish in the craziest flooded water, rough conditions, because we just want to see if we can do it. We just like pushing ourselves. The fried chicken was delicious. Too bad you weren't eating any. And I have Dad's this week tomorrow.
Woo. After the show. It's fine.
Yeah. So with all the rain going through the area, we also got flooding, right? So I've seen reports of flooding all over the country. I just seen like a couple TikToks where like Gatlinburg's being flooded, and I'm sure that's not the only place that just gets a lot of attention there.
Right.
But so a lot of things changing in everybody's areas. But what I wanted to really talk about was what causes the conditions to change when a front approaches, right? So we all know that as a front approaches, fishing has a tendency to pick up and get really good. And sometimes it gets really good a day in advance. Sometimes it's only hours in advance. I've looked at studies and research that's shown, sometimes the bite window of opportunity only opens for like 4 to 6 hours. And it's like a feeding frenzy. You can't do no wrong. But what I couldn't understand was why. What causes that to happen? So I dug and I found why causes that to happen.
Nice.
Zooplankton is pretty much the root of the very basic food for small aquatic life, right? So your crustaceans, your shrimp, all your other, I want to say aquatic insects and small fish move on zooplankton. It turns out that zooplankton are affected by 1 millimeter difference in the barometer. All right.
Now that is interesting.
At 1 millimeter difference, things start to change for zooplankton. The chance of you seeing this YouTube.
Not as rare as you think, Brandon.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we can get that on TikTok. Get that rolling or a short. So zooplankton, actually, they reproduce at the rate of, what did I write down here? I wrote it down. Their lifespan is only 30 days long. They reproduce every 24 to 36 hours. Okay, regardless of temperature and all that, they got to reproduce.
Okay.
But what happens was when the barometer drops, zooplankton become unstable and they're no longer able to reproduce for a short period of time, and they become unstable and they float. All right, they become detached from the bottom. Any crustaceans, any logs, rocks, they become a food source immediately. And so what happens is it starts a immediate feeding frenzy. The zooplankton become readily available. Then all your other, your aquatic life, your insects, your minnows, and everything else, they get active. Well, then that in turn gets your game fish and your what did I have here? I wrote down all of it. It gets all them active, and then that brings out the predators. Right. So all this happens in a matter of, it can happen in a matter of hours. Just as fast as it turns on, it can turn off. Circle of life. There you go, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely.
and so that's what's going on. So I can never understand, like, okay, but what is it? Like, I thought maybe barometer affected the catfish themselves or the other fish. Hey, Becca. See Miss Becca tuned in.
Oh, Becca.
Stopping in. And that in turn is what gets the food cycle going, what kicks it off. And it's a great thing that happens, because what I found is that if zooplankton didn't get eaten, they would have the entire world covered in 1 meter thick of zooplankton. In 130 days, they would take over the world. That's the rate at what they reproduce.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was pretty crazy too.
I know that is kind of a crazy fact. That's interesting.
130 days, zooplankton would take over the entire planet, and it would be 1 meter thick.
Wow.
If they didn't, if they weren't a food source for so many of so much aquatic life.
Wow.
So that's what causes the chain reaction. All right, the zooplankton. I didn't think such a microorganism could have such a huge effect and control so many things. But now, barometric pressure does, in fact, have a effect on other aquatic life and species of fish. As far as whether they're comfortable or not.
Good question.
So you know what? I don't. I know. So here's the difference. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's the change buried by zooplankton. It's the change that gets them. All right. So a fall by 1 or 2 millimeters will throw them off. A climb will also throw them off, but not as much as a fall. Ideally, just like we all have always said, 3 to 4 days of consistency is primo. That's when everything gets back to norm. Zooplankton reproduction rates are at their highest, and fish are feeding again, because that burst that they had when the zooplankton became available, that happens in day 3 and 4 of steady pressure. Right. So it's not really the exact pressure that sets things off. It's the change in pressure is what sets things off. Sounds like a hornet is attacking the zooplankton. I don't know what that would look like.
I don't
know. So it's the change, not so much the number. Now, I know that a lot of us will try to look for numbers when we're, planning our days and looking for some of us maybe looking for excuses why we didn't do well. I was like, oh man, the barometer's crazy. But, we all like around a 30, flat 30 inches is great. But when you get to 30.1 and 30.2 or 30.15, you don't think that 0.15 makes a difference, but the zooplankton, it does. It's what kind of starts the entire process. Yep. And I was completely oblivious to that. I just started digging and started pulling research and looking at articles and facts. And that was really what the root cause of the beginning of all this is the zooplankton. No excuse. The plankton wasn't moving. There you go, buddy.
I was just reading that. Perfect. We provided excuses till at least April or so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got everybody covered now.
Yeah.
Everybody's covered.
So then comes the question like, okay, so why does all of a sudden it stop, right? The feeding frenzy is moving on, the cold front's moving in, it gets right on top of you, and all of a sudden everything stops. And you're like, you can't catch a fish. You start hearing things like, I should have stayed home today. I fished all day. I didn't get a bite, or you should have been here yesterday, right? Things like that start popping out.
Yep.
And so here's what the domino effect is. The fish go on this huge feeding frenzy, right? The plankton get annihilated. They aren't reproducing for an entire day, which they reproduce, every 24, 36 hours, but they got wiped out. All right. What happens is the plankton number drops so low that the fish actually retract and they kind of back off. The shelves in the store are empty. There's still fish and there's still plankton out there to eat, but they all turn their dials to conserve, to see. The fish all go into conservative mode. They fed up. There's not a lot of food readily available right now, and they'll go find themselves somewhere comfortable, right? And we've all heard Epic talk about this. Fish need over want.
Right.
Okay. They need to eat. Well, they've ate. They're full. They've gorged for 4 to 6 hours. They've been eating everything they can catch. Now they want comfort. And so they're going to find the most comfortable area for them. And depending on time of year and where you're at, for most our catfish, they're going to look for cover, wood, rocks, undercut banks, things like that. They're there. But what happens is their strike zone goes incredibly small.
Right.
The reports I said show that they could decrease by 99%. They could go from 6 feet to 6 inches in their strike zone. And that's what causes us to have such a headache and has us all stir crazy after the cold front, the day after, 2 days after, is because these fish have fed up. They're in conservative mode and they're just laying up, digesting their food. And depending on the time of year, we all know that in the cold weather, these fish are, cold natured fish, cold blooded. Their enzymes and their stomach acids and everything slow down. The metabolism slows way down in this cold weather. They don't have to feed up as much as they do in the summertime when everything's going on turbo mode. In the heat. And so they feed up like that heavy right now in the wintertime. It's going to make things real difficult.
Yeah, because you're dealing with fish that already have a slowed down metabolism just because of the water temperatures. Okay, they're already not as active as they normally be, and now all of a sudden you hit this big weather change, and that just drops it that much more. It could be a very, very, very tough situation to deal with. I remember someone saying this, and forgive me if I don't remember the name of the person who said this. Best description I ever heard with what Roger's talking about, with they're fed up and they're just sitting there. It doesn't mean they won't eat. Doesn't mean that. Because remember, catfish are opportunistic. But like Roger said, now you might have to put that bait right here to try to get them. It's like we're just off the holidays, okay? You're sitting in your recliner all swole up. You done ate till it wasn't good no more. You're not going to get up and go get dessert. But you know what? If somebody comes bring you that piece of pecan pie and just sticks it under your nose, yeah, you know what? Okay, yeah. That's what you have to try to do for these fish. And that's where tactics, patience, different cuts of bait, different type of bait, all these little bitty things start making a difference into whether you're going to get that bite or not.
There you go. Welcome in, first of all, Brandon from Fishizzle, and brings a great point as we look forward to next week's weather. Huge cold front moving through our area. We're looking at highs at 20 and lows in the mornings of 0. All right, so that will in turn cause a shad kill in some areas, and we all know what happens then. That the fish gorge up on these dead shad. That also, just like the spawn, when the spawn explodes and there's shad absolutely everywhere, it can be tough fishing to compete with the food source. That's all they got to do is open their mouth and it's they're full.
Yeah.
I do see an interesting comment here from Corey though. It says that's why most of the time I switch to dragging this time of year because their strike zone's gone, and that's interesting. It makes sense. I've never been successful dragging, at 40-degree water. Although I could say that I don't have any confidence dragging in 40-degree water. Therefore, I don't do it. I don't do it much. I feel more comfortable on anchor. So I'd be interested to talk to Corey about, what his success rate has been with that. Yes.
Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, Tommy's right there. Next Tuesday, 7 degrees for the low.
Yeesh.
Yeah, so it's tough.
Yeah. I know for us, when like right now, we are in that situation right this minute. Okay. Had a big weather system pass through yesterday. Temperature dropped dramatically, wind blowing 30, 40 miles an hour today, just crazy. That front has passed, and we're on the backside of this front, looking at a big temperature drop tonight. I think for us, it's going to be, and Roger's fixing to shoot me a pair of eyes, it's going to be like 29 in the morning. Yeah, see, he doesn't think that's cold. I think that's cold. Yeah. But I know that if I were to be going fishing tomorrow, this means a couple of things for me. Now, keep in mind the disclaimer of everything I tell everyone. This is what works for us. In our area, our situations, this is what works. The very first thing, the frozen bait gets left at the house. They ain't going to hit it. They're not. They're just not. I've tried times. I don't care how good of a job I've done in preserving that bait. They ain't hitting it. So automatically, that's out. I know I got to get fresh bait and very fresh bait. The second thing I know I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to be extremely confident with my sonar that I am marking fish. Are they going to be active fish? Probably not. And I already know that. I'm prepared for that. But I have to be confident that I'm at least marking a few numbers that are going to be belly on the bottom on that sonar. They look like a rock sitting on the bottom. The third thing that means is patience. I'm going to have to set my boat up, take my time, get a good position on them, throw my rods at least to where I think they are, maybe a little beyond them. And I'm going to start doing what Roger calls nudging those baits. Every 5-10 minutes, I'm going to nudge them maybe one crank on that reel and just slowly, the slowest, most painful dragging you've ever seen in your life. Essentially, that's what I'm doing with the freshest bait I can possibly get. I also find that what I call a very aggressive cut in the bait works awesome. A really ugly cut on the back of a head that you're exposing a lot of meat. Fillets work great if you can get them blood soaked really good. Something that just puts a massive amount of scent in the water along with the nudging. You're not going to go and catch 50 fish, but you very well could catch 4, 5, 6 fish other than skunking. Some of the tactics we use.
Yeah, that's 100% right. If you guys, I know a lot of you guys tuned in to us this weekend as we went out and fished. The key to our success was fresh bait. Our bait was live on Saturday. We fished with live bait all day. Now we cut it. We didn't. I don't know why we didn't throw live bait. No particular reason, honestly, other than just I guess it didn't ever really cross my mind. And then that bait we used the next morning or the next afternoon for Sunday. And, you guys saw what happened Sunday. I mean, we fished. I went back and looked. The live stream was only 4 hours and 25 fish in 4 hours. And, first fish of the day was 56 pounds. And we don't get a whole lot of days like that. And we get some days like that. But let me see if I can find it here for you. We were fishing right in the middle of the incoming front. We had gone out and decided that, we were going to fish it. We knew that it was going to be nasty. We put on our, you invest in yourself, you invest in your gear. And I don't know if I could zoom that. I can't.
I couldn't help but highlight that comment because I'm still having a hard time with that one. I just am.
I meant to pin the link to that tonight too.
I'm just that one in particular. I'm still battling with myself.
Guru of the year, man.
How in the world did I end up on a list of people with Epic and Dieter Melhorn? I have no idea, but you know what? There I am. So
I'm proud of you, brother.
There's that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the condition. The blue dot is where we fished. That's what we were dealing with.
That's that picture you sent me. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually part of the thumbnail I made because it's just crazy. And that's hence the comments that we got. Like, why in the world did you guys go fish that?
I know.
But let me see. Oh,
we don't get many of those colors in my area. I'll tell you now. I had to study that radar image for a second. Like, what do those colors mean? Oh yeah, that means snow.
Yeah. So there's why we go out and do that.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, I'm going too far. That's next week's show. Oh, let's just talk about that real quick.
Let's talk about that a minute.
Let's just talk about this real quick. I gotta be honest with you guys. I am very tickled to death. It's been no secret that I've been a big fan of Chris and what he's done over Slunger Cat ever since he started Tackle Talk Tuesdays. He's the reason why I do this show. He put the bug in my ear and gave me the desire to learn more and to share knowledge. And Chris has asked me to join Slunger Cat Outdoors group and help kind of spread the word on what Chris has been doing. Chris has been a man on a mission this year,
right?
Coming out with lots of new gear, pre-tied rigs. So like Saturday, everybody kept asking what rigs were we using. We were using Kentucky rigs. I think each of us had like one or two rigs that were a three-way, but it was all Kentucky rigs, and that's one of the things that Chris has always, been real proud of is his Kentucky rigs. And so he pre-ties rigs. He's got gear. He's got stuff going on over there. But if you go over and check him out, you can use Muskrat 10 and get 10% off your purchase. And that just kind of helps show that I'm doing my part and spreading the word and helping support my brother. And so again, very, very humbled and thankful to have the opportunity to work with Chris. I own that orange hoodie right there. It is sweet. Matter of fact, that orange hoodie, that orange hoodie is what I'm wearing right here. You can't really tell, but it is. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to say, get past all that. Oh, no, not that way. Go the other way.
You got to watch your side screens. You're going to end up doing like Lyle did.
I'm pretty careful. I grabbed this off of a page I was reading today, just talking about, being out there in the elements and dealing with everything. Is start with a wicking base layer, manage your moisture, insulating layer made of wool, fleece, down top protective layer, a windproof and water resistant, which is basically the way I dress every time is that I use the Cabela's guide gear. And I love it. Zach uses the Bass Pro 100-mile-an-hour suit. You layer up underneath of that and keep the wind and the water off of you, and you're good to go.
Yep.
But I thought it was worth mentioning there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to go out and do this and spend the time, have the patience, try to get on these fish. Look, it's important. And even though it does not get as cold down here as it does for this guy here, and he throws me a pair of eyes every time. Look, if you're in a spot in the country with this high humidity like we have here, don't think for a second that some 20-degree weather with some wind will chill you to the bone.
Oh, yeah.
Layering like this is very important, especially for cutting that wind. Let me tell you, like today, it was 45 degrees today, but with a 30-mile-an-hour wind, it just soon would have been 25. It's miserable.
Right here, Mike Greenwell, he's also a part of the family member over with Slender Cat Outdoors. So Mike and I share promo codes over there, and same thing. Ever since we met Chris, looked up to him, and so
absolutely
looking forward to.
I'm CPR because of Chris Souders, like directly because of him. He's the one that got me going down that road, and hey, I ain't never looked back since.
This right here, this comment right here is that is on my list to have by this time next year. I got so much crap going on now that's probably not going to happen this year, but a float suit. My buddy Mark Mitchell just went ahead and pulled the trigger and bought one and says that's the best thing he's worn. Loves it. He's protected from the elements, and he's protected if he would take a fall into the water. You don't have to rely on life jackets. You don't have to rely on pulling a cord. You don't have to rely on anything. Your float suit will float you, and some of them will test them up. You can float for like 2 hours. So, Jeremy, wait till Tuesday. 17. Is it 17 degrees?
I tell you right now, I'm gonna find me a piece of equipment to get in there right now. I'm gonna run that dozer or something. Nope, ain't happening. Outside work ain't happening. Nope.
Joey says he didn't even know your name was Jeremy until you called him the night he cut the state record.
Yeah, but look, there's a lot of people who have no idea what my first name is. Yeah, that's just how YouTube and really all of the. I don't do a lot of other social media but YouTube, but a lot of people just know me by that, and it's because of the channel. And hey, I'm grateful for it. You holler Creole across the room, I will answer. I promise you.
There you go.
Don't bother me.
Hey, Dave Funk's in the house. What's going on, buddy? He says lakes and rivers will be up after all this rain.
Yep.
Too bad we have highs in the 20s and lows in the teens all week. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's not going to be fun fishing for the next week or so. I know that Chad's got the Winter Blues tournament next weekend. I am not looking forward to it.
It lives up to the name, doesn't it?
Huh?
It lives up to the name, doesn't it?
Yeah. So our river is projected to come up 20 feet between now and Saturday, which is which is double what it is right now. So it's 20 feet now,
Ooh.
and it's projected to go to 41 or 42 by Saturday or Sunday.
Ooh.
So that's rough.
Yeah.
As we talk about fronts and we talk about changes, you know, I've always been a big believer in the stages of 3. You know, I just want consistency. I don't care if it's hot. I don't care if it's high. I don't care if it's low. I don't care what it's doing. I just want it to do it for 3 days in a row, and I'm good to go. But when your river's shooting straight up like a rocket, it is hard to get on the fish. Now we know what they're going to do, right? They're going to retreat from the channels. They're going to run to tributaries. They're going to run to creek mouths. They're going to run to structure. They're going to run to the banks. So they're not going to be out in the middle of the river, which is good, right? So it narrows down the search, but it's pretty hard to catch a fish when you're fishing in trees that are 20 feet.
This is exactly the point that I was fixing to bring up. Anybody who's fished a flowing river for more than about 20 minutes knows how bad the debris can get on a fast rise. I mean, that kind of goes into the safety part of it. Guys, there's just some times where I'm not going to get on that Mississippi. A 20-foot rise in the Mississippi, I can tell you right now, I won't go out. I won't, because I ain't dealing with the trees floating down the river. Yeah,
I'm imagining for as long – we haven't had high water at all for a while. It's been pretty low. So for us to go from saying 22 feet now to 41.6 up here at the peak – it's going to be nasty.
Yeah, and let me tell you something that happens a lot. I know it happens a lot down here, and I'm sure everybody else is seeing it. When you have low water situations for that long, what happens to all these sandbars and banks and everything else that hadn't seen daylight in 2 years? I know for us, it's the bloodweeds. The bloodweeds, cockaburs just start growing 6 feet tall everywhere, all over the sandbars. So guess what happens? The first high water you get, every stalk, every leaf, every weed that is grown on those sandbars is all fixing to come down river. Line trash like crazy. Us, I might set up my boat center on that current seam, but on what I call the fast side, on the current side, I may not have any rods out.
Yeah,
they'll all be on. I like to put a rod or two in that stuff to tell me where the trash is. That next rod over that's not doing this constantly from line trash, that's the one that gets hit. It's always the one that catches the fish. That has never failed me.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading some of these comments, and I was trying to keep up with the chat here, and good conversation going on here. Joey was talking to Lance there about their record, and Pontoon Joni wants to know how come I don't make fried bologna sandwiches on that fancy grill. Truth be known, I do. I do make fried bologna sandwiches on there, and they are delicious.
Bologna, right?
And she's talking about my fancy grill. She fishes on a Hughes craft with James.
I know, right?
You know what I mean? You guys got AC and heat, windshield wipers.
That's what I need. I need a boat with AC. I think I could get people to come out a little more willingly during like the middle of the summer when I can fry an egg on my boat. That ain't happening no time soon. I can tell you now. We ain't I could freeze one maybe, not fry one.
There you go. They dump the sewage plants on high water coming your way, Creole.
Oh, we fixing to get everything. We fixing to get, and look, if somebody throws a washing machine in Ohio, I'll see it in about 3 weeks.
River lettuce and plastic. There you go, War Pig.
Yep.
Paula Smith's in the house. What's up, Paula? Dominic Hollis, thanks for tuning in. 205 Wild Action. I just want to make sure I catch up with a couple folks here I missed. Before I forget, we have a special treat tonight.
Yes, we do.
So, as you guys saw last week or the week before, my weeks are so crazy now. It's hard to keep up. We got Kelly Bullock, who has put together another spotlight. We have an air fryer. He won't let me use open flame to cook. Do you blame him?
That is awesome.
Now,
comment of the night right there.
Jody made a comment earlier today about chumming, and I'm not sure. I'm out of the loop. I missed whatever happened here. And I don't know if she blew chunks over the side of the boat and that was chumming, or if they got something else going on. So I had to explain to Jackie what chumming was. And I don't know if maybe Jody fed James something and he threw up and they're chumming the water. I don't know. But anyway, thanks to Kelly Bullock. We have another spotlight video for you guys tonight. So you guys check this out. Well done. Well done.
I love it.
Yeah, heck yeah. Dieter Melhorn, you know, obviously nominated for several Golden Whisker categories. Right. The production value of his videos, and then just the time and effort he puts into things.
Yep.
He came up with a video earlier today. I listened to part of it while I was working in the house here, but you know, he tries to stay very current on events. You know, what's happening now, and so always a treat checking out stuff from Dieter. And thank you again for Kelly for putting that together for us, man.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I saw a couple questions in before that came up.
Let's see.
We'll give this some props. Do a real good job with those, Bullock. Thank you, man. Multi-species I'm in. Yeah, I didn't realize Dieter crappie fish that much. I know he goes after the white Persian stuff a lot for bait and whatnot, but I'm after crappie myself. I love crappie fishing.
That's actually, I think now he offers that as guide trips, if I'm not mistaken. He does catfish and Sackley trips.
Is that right?
I believe he does.
The show is complete. Freddie's here.
Freddie.
There we go. Oh, it gets even better. We got 2 stands in the house. Man,
what's happening, brother?
You guys make us feel so good.
I know, right?
Let's see. I had some other stuff to talk about, and I can't remember what it was. I think I pretty much went through. You know, a lot of the people were talking about. You know, what do you do after the front? How do you fish after the cold front? And it's a very slow and methodical process. You know, one of the things that Zach and I love to do, and it was probably one of the more rewarding parts of our day, actually was on Sunday. We caught some good fish. We caught a lot of fish, but after they opened up another gate at the dam, we could not get the boat to sit where we needed it to sit to catch more fish. We had to move. And so what we did after that is we basically went and located targeted fish, pinpointed a waypoint, dropped a waypoint on them, spun the boat around. And I'm telling you, I think we caught, hey, what's up, Rusty? There we go. It took a minute before I could see the chat. Rusty Moorfield's in the house. What's up, brother?
What's happening?
To be able to locate fish on your graph and then spin around and set up on them and then put that fish in the boat is probably one of the most rewarding things you can do, in my opinion anyway, as a catfish angler, is to be able to, you know, as actually Chris taught us, find the fish, catch the fish.
Right.
And there's times when, you know, just setting up and on schooling fish, you know, hoping to catch fish. You know, sometimes we're intercepting fish from a feeding zone to a channel ledge. Sometimes we're intercepting fish in other ways. But when all else fails and you got to go contact the fish and find it and put it in the boat. Hey, man, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate
Absolutely,
you.
brother.
Appreciate you, man. You guys make sure to check in Catfish Weekly on next Monday night. I believe that's Corey be on there talking about that big Louisiana fish that he had to let go. So
almost. Had we could have got somebody there, we'd have had a new record. So
yeah,
close.
So many questions, but I'll leave all that to everybody
Absolutely
for next Monday night. So be sure to check that out. I just caught my eye right there. Stan said we may be doing crappie tourneys this year.
Ooh.
Huh. I got you, man. I'm up for that.
I like it.
And if
I figure we're getting to this part of the show where I'm gonna tease Roger a little bit. And I told him I would do this later, but I'm just gonna do it now because that's I'm just that way. But Roger loves orange, right?
Yeah. Oh man, what is that?
Yeah. That caught him my light there. That right there, my friend. Ancient Mariner Challenger Series rod and the big old Ancient Mariner 7,000 reel. In your favorite color, Roger.
7,000.
In your favorite. I wish I would have grabbed my pin squall to hold up on the side of this reel, like to show the size difference. Yeah. It is not. It's almost it's a hair narrower and just a hair bigger around than a pin squall. But
no kidding.
We will be putting these babies to work very, very, very soon on the river. I was specifically asked to beat these to death. And I'm very good at that. I'm very good at beating equipment to death. So you know what? We're going to put them to the ultimate test.
Are they orange all the way to the tip?
Yes, all the way, 100%.
There we go.
All the way. And of course, he had to he also had to hook me up with my favorite color.
Oh, looky there.
Yeah.
I like purple too. I know Zach's a big fan of purple as well.
Yep.
But he does not like the digital printed graphics on like the Mad Catz rods.
Right.
He likes a solid color. I think he prefers black, but
I think that for now, I think that's the only color that you don't get the Challenger in is black. You can get a white rod.
No, I mean the handle. He likes a solid color handle, black handle.
Oh yeah. Without the patterns and everything. But we do sell them at River Cast Tackle. So if anybody wants to check them out and get a pair of your own Creole 10. So if you message Mr. John on Facebook, Mr. John Cyclone, we got some really good prices on this stuff. They're so good that we aren't allowed to advertise on social media. That's how good the prices are. So it's worth the time to message John and ask him about the prices on this stuff. It's good. Trust me.
Rusty, I don't care what color your boat is. I want to come fish with you, but a Dynasty 2.0 with a 300 horse Yamaha decked out, trimmed out in purple.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going to have to twist my arm very hard to get on that boat.
That's the kind of boat I need.
That's a trip I've been looking forward to taking for quite some time. But what I'll tell you is November, for my birthday, Jackie took me down to Wilson Lake and Wheeler, and we hooked up with Doc Lang, and we spent some time fishing with Doc Lang. And you know what Rio Doc Lang had on his boat? The Ancient Mariner 7,000.
Yep, he has those, and he also uses the Ocean Typhoon bumping reel.
The bumping reel.
Doc uses them. In fact, I have one of those in the next room as well.
Yeah. And we have nothing but love and respect for Doc Lang. And if Doc trusts it, that's a big statement to me.
Yeah.
I haven't used the 7,000s, and the 6,000s I got were like the very first ones they came out with. I jumped right on them when I saw them. Right. And I know some things have changed.
There's been that's one thing I can say about the brand is it's constantly evolving, constant small engineering changes, constantly making things better. Feedback is very much appreciated because hey, if we can help them out and make it even better, then that's what we'll do.
Stan says, "Yeah, I'm new to traffic catfishing, but I've caught trophies secondly all my
That's
life."
right. That's what I grew up doing. Actually,
I don't know.
I've caught I don't know how many saccally in my life compared to saccally. Compared to catfish. That's mostly what I grew up doing.
I don't know if good Lord, how in the world her name just roll off my tongue? They just got a Paula Smith. Good Lord. They just caught some big old crappie last week and caught some more crappie. I think a couple of days later, I think they had one like over 2 pounds. Roger, do you have your camping spot for the gathering? I don't. Ooh. The reason is because I am torn terribly because there's 2 events going on that exact same day. I have the Big Fox tournament May 18th, and I have the gathering in Tennessee that entire weekend.
That's tough.
And I know we're signed up for the bank tournament, and I know I love that tournament, but I'm torn about going to spend the weekend with the gathering group and doing that whole thing again because that was, a lot of fun. So I don't have my spot because I'm procrastinating. I can't decide what I want to do. I was so torn. I was like, why do they have to fall on the same weekend? It's like 2 of my favorite things at the exact same time.
Because there's so many events now. If you had a calendar of just everything that's going on with the tournaments and gatherings and meetups and conferences, it would be tough to pick a weekend that has nothing going on.
It's like going into the ice cream parlor and like the hand dipped ice cream, like the good stuff, right? And try to just pick one flavor.
I know.
That's all you get. I was like, man,
yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. So
it's tough.
So the truth is, I have not committed to going to the gathering. I did tell Zach I would fish that tournament with him, as I have done the last couple of years. But I am really torn on wanting to go to the gathering. So there's where I'm at with that. I did kind of prelude a little bit earlier, if I could get it back up here, to our next week's guest, which is Joey and Rosa. That's the Hillbilly Outdoor Industry. So Hillbilly Towels and Sublimation. If you guys aren't familiar with them, man, they are on fire right now with custom jerseys, custom bibs, towels. If you guys remember back last year, the year before, they provided all the catfishing kids. Where's one of the shirts at? The catfishing for kids t-shirts that we gave away for the kids tournaments, the towels. They even made the trophies. You talk about some folks that take care of people in the community. These are a couple of the best. Yeah, right there's the catfishing for kids t-shirts that they made for us. But they're coming on the show. Going to be talking about what they've got going on. They've actually supposed to be live on their Facebook page here at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock their time, talking about some of the stuff they've got going on because they've just been overwhelmed with questions and stuff. And so they're going to try to answer most of it at once on their own. We've got them scheduled to be here next week and kind of just showcase to everybody what these guys have been doing, what they're up to. Man, I'm telling you, even if you don't do tournament fishing, if you're just proud of your brand or you just want to design something cool on your own, man, they could put together some really cool stuff. I've got some gear that they're working on for me right now that I cannot wait to get my hands on. Okay. Paula says, I've got the Sea Arc Owners Invitational in April and Baby Girl just a few days later. There you go. I know that we will be at the Sea Arc Invitational as well in April.
Oh, cool.
I've got to look at my calendar because it is getting full of things I've got to do coming up this year, which is a blessing. But I'm getting so full on things coming up. I've got to start letting some things slide, and it's not fun. I want to do it all.
Oh, I know. I'm the same way. I want to do it all. Busy work schedule. I can't do it all. I could pick 2 big ones this year. 2 big ones that I could take like an extended period of time off for. And unfortunately, that's how CatCon got kicked off the list, is because the other 2, it's hard for me to say, but are more important to me. The other 2 are more important to me. I got people coming. I'm taking off a week spend some time, do some fishing, and I ain't missing that for the world. The other one is my big tournament in Vicksburg. We go on to that tournament. That's just all there is to it.
There you go. There we go. They donate. Yeah, everybody's saying they donate and help out. They do a lot for a lot of people. I'll give you a little personal piece on me. Some of you know this, some of you don't. A while back, somebody broke in and stole all my GoPro gear, everything out of my truck. I lost everything. And Joey and Rosa stepped up and said, "Hey, man, we got a GoPro that we just don't use." And they just mailed it to me and said, "Here, get some use out of it." That's the kind of people we're talking about, kind of people we're dealing with. And those are the kind of people that I love to do business with.
Yeah. 100%.
When we talk about spending our hard-earned money with companies, dude, there are so many companies to choose from. To me, the final straw is the company itself.
100%.
Who stands behind the community? Who's gonna, who's there for everyone else? And that's where my money is going to go. So let's see. I make sure we didn't have anything else. I know I kind of went off on a tangent. We did cover a lot of information. Zooplankton are now going to be the number one cause for uncaught fish.
Oh, absolutely. I don't care if I didn't even go fishing. That's that. Well, the zooplankton wasn't going to be right today anyway. So,
Yeah. Like I said, they say it says the zooplankton population to increase by 30% a day. The entire population can increase by 30% in a day. They lay eggs every 24 to 36 hours. But they're, like I said, they're consumed by so many other beings out there. Like I seen the comment earlier, look at how giant a spoonbill gets.
Right.
And that's all they eat is plankton. And they're huge, humongous fish.
Absolutely.
And so, they have the ability to produce and maintain life in so many different categories. But at the end of the day, according to all the studies and stuff that I read up on and found, that the initial kickoff of that big boom when a cold front approaches as the barometer drops just a couple millimeters, it sends them plankton into a state where they no longer reproducing. They start floating. They cannot control their buoyancy is basically how it was explained. They cannot control their buoyancy, and it turns on a feeding frenzy that continues all the way down the food chain. So who knew? I didn't know.
I would wonder, because for me, if I have to choose whether I fish right before a rain or right after a rain, I'm going to choose right after every time. Because now I'm talking like the second it stops raining.
Right.
In my experience, every time that we have been on the water, the second it stops raining has been some of the best days of fishing we've ever had. And that is without failure. I wonder if your zooplankton deal somehow ties in with that too. Like if it has to do something with that event as well.
Well, with the zooplankton deal, so to speak, is all occurs from the change in barometer.
Right.
That's it. It's not a number. There's no magic number to it. It's just a change. And any front coming through, whether it could be a warm front or a cold front, any way that. Now, like I said, the barometer going up will also change it and can cause it, but it doesn't seem to be as drastic or as immediate as a dropping one. And I don't. That's just what I read. That's
okay. Good. It's great information. It makes you, and one little piece of information like that, it just starts changing your perspective on a lot of things. It really does.
You wouldn't think that such a small organism like that would have the domino effect that it does, but it does. Dave, also, as we mentioned earlier, Gatlinburg getting devastating floods right now. I'm seeing lots of stuff popping up on social media, evacuating Gatlinburg and all that. So as much as I don't like the touristy trap of Gatlinburg, I can handle it for like a minute.
Yeah.
I don't wish anybody to be swept away in floodwaters or hurt. So
absolutely,
hopefully everybody gets through that okay. Right before rain for me. Yeah, James, I'm the same way. I like right before the rain. I like the hours leading up into the front. If I can watch a front move across the country, and I can get out there and be on the water right up before it hits or right as it hits, that's what I want. If I could pick it. Unfortunately, for most of us, we don't get to pick it like that, right? We go fishing when we can. And so because we got to fish it when we can, we got to learn how to read and adapt and change, whether it's changing tactics, changing bait, changing, we have to learn how to change and adapt because, if we had the ability to just go fish the prime times and the magic windows that exist, we'd all be rich. Because
I know, right? I mean, I'm the same way. Like I said, look, we all work for a living, every one of us, and sometimes it's the only day you have to go, and you just have to play the hand you got dealt. And so hopefully maybe some of this information, you may not feel great about going, but if you keep some of these little thoughts and ideas in your mind whenever you go out, if nothing else, it'll turn a skunk day into, hey, tough conditions, but we caught a couple of fish. Sometimes if you're very happy with that, considering the situation. I know a lot of times I am on some tough days like that. Hey, 3-4 fish in the boat. I'm pretty happy.
Danny, now what I'll say is, I don't know that it doesn't. I won't say that the barometer doesn't change or doesn't affect a fish's swim bladder. I didn't get to that part of the science of it. When I got into the zooplankton part, and I know I've seen Stan's, I think it was Stan. Yeah, it says he talked many hours talking to Epic about it because, Epic is all about the science and the why. And that's where that's where my research drove me today to was the why. Why is it that this happens? We love that it happens and we hate what happens afterwards and why they shut down. And this kind of helps explain at least why they shut down. What we could do about it is not a whole lot. We can fish a little bit differently and more deliberately as we realize their strike window gets much smaller. It's all combined, Danny. It affects bigger fish's swim bladder, making them hungry. At the same time, smaller fish start feeding on the plankton, and it enhances the effect. There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep, Stan's got the education too, man.
He does. He definitely does.
He's got it. He's got it there. He spends a lot of time talking and learning, and he puts a lot of time into listening and research as well. So, man, oh man. Well, it's 9:00, man. Can you believe that?
It flies by fast, don't it?
Man, it comes by fast.
Yep.
Yeah, I seen Tommy says he's dipping out 3:30 come soon. I don't blame you, buddy. That's early. But then again, we're going to say thanks to you guys tuning in with us tonight and hanging out with us. Great crowd. Love the questions. Keeping the chat entertaining as we continue to wind down the days of voting for the Whisker Awards. Go in and choose your favorites. Keep us in mind as we beg for your vote on the we got the live talk show of the year and educational show of the year.
Educational channel of the year. Yep. And look, it's an honor. It really is. I mean, this is our second year in a row to be nominated for that, and it's a lot to take in sometimes. It really is. It means a lot.
It does. With as much as we hope to share and influence folks over time, it really is humbling to get nominated like that 2 years in a row. So big thanks to you guys. And, we win it. We'll be even happier, like two little schoolgirls. And if we don't, we are truly honored that
keep on trucking like always.
Yep. Yeah. We're going to keep doing what we do.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no sign of quitting or stopping for us. We've been going at it for a while and we're still having a good time doing it. So we're going to keep on trucking.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, you guys have a good night. We'll see you here next Tuesday night with Hillbilly Towels and Sublimation. We'll catch you guys on the next cast. Good night, everybody.
Bon pêcher, everybody.
Booyah.